Hi everyone, welcome to my channel and welcome back. I'm Jeannie and I'm a DIY nail enthusiast who loves trying new products and techniques and sharing with you all. And I don't know about you, but I have been seeing Olive and Jude all over my feed, all over Instagram, Facebook, YouTube for months now. And I've been dying to know, is it really worth it? Are these products really great? So I finally decided to buy some products and give it a try, but of course, I wanted to share with you all my first impressions. So I haven't opened anything. I just unboxed it, placed it on the table. So this will be my true first impressions of all the products. I wanted to try a little bit of everything. And it looks like they also threw in this free gift of these cute little nail stickers. But I bought I think it's just their gel kit. We'll open that together. I bought a couple gel polishes as well as builder gel, which they recently released. So I was really curious to try their builder gel. So I normally have a builder gel overlay on my right hand. So I think we're going to test that out today. And then I'm not sure, depending on how this goes, I may or may not try a gel polish color, but we're at least going to try the builder gel out and see how that does for an overlay on my natural nails. And then I also bought this little mini poppy, which I thought was adorable. So these are little handles to go like on top of the lids of the jars to supposedly make it easier to hold on to. And this little mini was so cute that I had to buy it. But anyway, let's go ahead and jump into the what's in this box because honestly, I can't remember. I think I ended up buying this like box starter kit, whatever it's called, because it came with their gel lamp and I didn't see where you could buy the lamp separately. So I decided, you know what? Let's go all out, go big or go home and do like a first impressions of the whole gel polish system. So I'm really excited about this. I will say I did buy this with my own money. Olive and Jude does not know I exist. So this is, I mean, either way, you're going to get my honest opinion, but I just wanted to let you know that I did pay for this with my own money. So let's go ahead, open this up. Ooh, it's got that magnetic clasp, which I like. Oh, this is nice. You see, it's got like instructions here on the box, like everything it comes with. So you get a nail file, cuticle remover, some prep items, looks like a buffer block, and then their um, acetone remover pot. That's really cool. Gel polish, maybe a poppy. But this is really neat. This is a really nice quality box. So over here, you can see the box. So we have beautiful gel manis for everyone. So step-by-step instructions in case you're newer to gel polish. And then let's see what's in this pouch. Okay, so let's see. We've got a cuticle remover. Generally, I stay away from cuticle removers. They scare me because I've used like 2 or 3 brands. And even like, I know you're supposed to put it on just for like maybe a few seconds, maybe a minute. I'm not sure how long. And then just like remove your cuticles. Even if I put it on and then immediately remove cuticle, like scrape away cuticle and wipe it off, it still ends up burning my skin and I get like cuts. And so cuticle removers scare me. So I may or may not try this because I don't want to ruin my cuticles because way too many cuticle removers have ruined my cuticles. But there's this one. We have cuticle serum with cactus flower. So I assume this is like a cuticle oil. Oh, look at this tip. That's a really nice fluffy tip. So we've got this little cuticle oil serum, a nail file. It seems pretty fine. So this might be like a 180, if not higher grit nail file. It's not super coarse. We've got, oh, look, this cute branded cuticle pusher. I mean, this is just a plastic cuticle pusher. It's cute and it's pink, but you know, it's just a plastic one. It's not metal or glass or anything like that. I love my glass cuticle pushers, but you do get this, which is nice because it seems like in this kit you get everything you need. You don't have to buy anything else. So if you're newer, this is a really great starter kit. We have, oh, this is nice, a cleanup brush, it looks like. So it does have that Olive and June branding as well. It's a bit thicker though. Like I usually like my cleanup brushes, I don't know if you can see here, to be a bit thinner. So maybe it's not a cleanup brush because I'd want it thinner to get in between my cuticle area and sidewalls, but I think that's a cleanup brush. Unless it's to help apply the polish, I don't know. I'll have to look through the booklet a little afterwards, but we're going to keep moving on. This is cute. These are little nail clippers. They have the Olive and June branding, and I like that have that like silicone coating. So you have even nail clippers, which I generally don't see in kits. There's a buffer block. We've got the Olive and June branding here. This is a bit of a coarser buffer block, so this might be a nice one. And then the last thing in here, this is the full-sized poppy. So from what I understand, I thought there's no way you're... Let me see. Because there's no way it's going to fit over your cap. Oh, you know what? I think, because you can see here that little black, so I think you have to like take a paper towel, lint-free wipe, pull out that black cap part, and then you put the poppy over it instead of this. So good to know that it's, you know, it's a lot more work to use the poppy. I don't know why. I just assumed it went over your cap, but knowing that I have to remove, oh, I'm stupid. You can just remove your cap that way. So that's a lot easier. I should edit that out, but hey, it's real life. So you just pull off the cap, which is super easy. So just ignore me. And then the poppy supposedly slips right over it. And then it's supposed to be easier to grip. Okay. Okay, so now that I know how that works, there's the regular size poppy. And then I think that's all that comes in the pouch. And then we also have, this is the acetone nail remover pot. I wonder if it's pure acetone. The light is too bright and I can't read it. I'll check later to see whether this is pure acetone or whether it's mixed with stuff like a nail polish remover, because that'll make a difference when you're working with gels. With gels, you need pure acetone, whereas like nail lacquer, nail polish, you can use remover, which isn't pure acetone. But you can see this pad here is soaked with acetone. So you just stick your finger in there. There's little slots. I'm not sure if you could see like little slits. You just stick your finger in there, twist it around, and then like the sponge removes your polish. So that's really neat. I've been wanting to try their remover pots because they look so convenient. And then we have their cute little lamp. Let's see. The whole reason I bought the kit because I wanted to try the lamp and I didn't think you could buy the lamp separately. So we've got a charging cord, which, you know what, I don't know if this lamp is rechargeable or not, but let me move this box out of the way so we can take a better look. It's got a nice matte surface. It's very, very, very lightweight. So it's not like a super high quality metal. It's kind of plastic. Okay, so it isn't rechargeable. It looks like I'm gonna have to plug it in. And it says here, quick press, 1 minute, long press, 2 minute cure. And so you can see here, it's got some lights here where your fingers are. There are a couple lights on each side right here, but here there's no light, so it doesn't have a whole lot of lights in them. But you know, assuming like you stick your hand in, it's got like lights where your fingers are. So there's that. I do like it's got that mirror metal interior, but there is no bottom. Usually I like lamps that have a metal bottom to reflect. So just a couple of things to note with the lamp. We're going to try that out with this mani. And then, oh, I forgot it came with this. See, everything you need. So this is peel off base coat, which honestly I do have their peel off base coat that I bought from Amazon. So I've been using it. It's really good for like polishes, dip powder. It's hit or miss. It works, but maybe not like all in one piece. but I haven't minded the Olive and June PLF base coat. I think it's been pretty good. I would not recommend it to anyone. We've got the gel polish base coat, and then the gel polish top coat, and I believe it was Obsessed, this color that came with the kit. I think the kit came with one color. So I think this was the Obsessed kit. So, I mean, you get a lot in this kit. I'll have to look up how much I paid for this kit. I mean, it certainly wasn't cheap, but to get like peel off base coat, gel top coat, base coat, gel polish color, the lamp, the acetone remover, and then like all these tools. I mean, you do get a lot in the kit, but you have to decide whether or not it's worth it for you. But I'm going to at least share my first impressions. I'm going to try out the builder gel because that really is what started me placing an order because I wanted to try that. And then I decided to try out more stuff. So we'll see how this goes to determine whether I do the gel polish color. But let's go ahead and jump into the builder gel. But first I need to remove my current overlay. So I'll be back. Okay, so I removed my builder gel overlay. So these are my natural nails. So we're going to go ahead and try the builder gel. But before I get into that, just a couple of things I wanted to talk about. I looked up the system. So for everything that I showed you in the kit, minus the one color and then the mini poppy, everything was $95 for the kit. But they are having their Black Friday sale that says 25% off everything on the site. So if you're interested in the kit, you can buy that and get a good sale on it. The gel polishes, they are HEMA free. I was looking through ingredients. It doesn't call it out because it says it's HEMA free and 15 free. But when I was looking through the ingredients, I didn't see TPO. I know that's like a big thing lately about like TPO's banned in the EU. I mean, there's controversy around whether or not it actually is harmful. However, because it is a big thing right now, I did want to mention that it looks like they are TPO free as well. They're vegan, all this stuff. So I just wanted to mention that as well about their gel polishes. And I think with that, we're going to go ahead and start. So I went ahead, removed my builder gel on my natural nails. Don't mind, like I've got a bunch of cuts on my right hand. I am rough on my hands, which is why I always like to have a layer of builder gel because I've grown out my natural nails for probably over a year now. And I just like to, I mean, even though they're pretty strong, I like to make sure that they don't break and I like to protect them because I am rough on it. So I'm going to start with a dehydrator. So I've got my Prep. This is basically like isopropyl alcohol and acetone. I didn't see a dehydrator in the Manny and June kit, so that's why I'm just using this one. Although everything else is included, so I feel like the only thing missing from this kit is a dehydrator, maybe a primer if you have naturally oily nail beds and you need a little bit of help. But other than that, I think you have everything you need in the gel kit. So I just want to go ahead, make sure I'm fully dehydrated because any oils left on your nail beds can cause lifting. If we do a mani with the gel polish color, I will use the peel base, but I'm not going to do peel base underneath the builder gel. So my nails are properly dehydrated. So whenever I go in with builder gel, I start with a layer of gel base first. So we're going to use this gel base coat. I got to sneeze. Hang on. Oh my goodness, bad timing for a sneeze. So let's take a look at this and see what the consistency is. Hopefully it's not too thin. All right. So this is a thicker consistency, which is what I prefer because it's less runny, but it's not super thick, but it is pretty thick. Hopefully you can see that here. I really like the rounded brush that makes it easier to get around the cuticle areas. And this is my dominant hand, so I always struggle with it. So whatever I can do to make it easier, I really appreciate just because it's hard to do your own dominant hand. So we're going to apply some gel polish. I'm going to do my thumb separately. So I'm removing most of the base from my brush because I don't want to flood my cuticles. And then we're going to go in, apply a layer of gel base. It applies pretty smoothly. I do see when the brush fans out, I don't know if you could see it, there are like little bristles, so it's not like an even. I don't think that's a huge deal, but there are little bristles that aren't like flush with the other bristles or even. I don't know if that makes sense at all. So keep an eye on that. Make sure that it doesn't accidentally touch my skin. They're not necessarily like stray bristles, but I did want to call that out about the bristles. And then I want to get as close to the cuticle line without touching my skin. That was actually a fairly easy application. I do like the thickness of this. And then I'm going to go ahead. Oh, you know what? Here's another thing. Like the lamp is very, because I don't, when you don't want your hand sitting sideways because the gel could run into your sidewalls, but I can't, the lamp is too short to stick my hand in that way. And I know the lights are only in the back and the sides, so I can't just do it at like the beginning of it. I need my hand all the way to be all the way back there. So thumb's going to be a little tricky. So I'm going to move away my bottle of gel and then I'm going to do this to cure. So I just did one push, so it's going to cure for 1 minute. Okay, so I just propped it on my hand. So that's a 1 minute cure. You know, no issues with that. So I'm going to go ahead, apply the gel base coat to the rest of my nails. The whole hand will fit in there and then we can give them a cure together. I could have honestly, I don't know why I did that 1 minute. I could just flash cure my thumb. So 10 to 15 seconds. That will freeze it in place. I could do the rest of my fingers and then do a full cure together. But I guess we just tested out the 1 minute functionality of the lamp. So I'm just being really careful because like I mentioned, it's hard to do my dominant hand. I hate having to do a new builder gel overlay or a fill because I struggle doing my right hand. However, so far so good with this gel base coat and the brush. I'm hoping the builder gel will be the same. We will see. I like trying new builder gel, so I was excited to try this one, and that's what started the whole spiral. And you know, you go on the site for builder gel and then you end up buying a whole kit, so go figure. I should have just waited honestly for Black Friday, but I bought this like over a month ago, so I wasn't even like in the Black Friday frame of mind, like thinking about Black Friday sales. But you know, it would have been nice to get that extra 25% off. So I'm just okay. No complaints about the base gel so far. It's not runny at all, and I really appreciate that, but it's not so thick that it's hard to use. I think that's like the perfect consistency. So I'd say base coat so far, really good for a beginner. So I've got my layer of base coat on all my nails, cure it for a full 60 seconds. Make sure my hand's all the way in the back. A little tiny bit of burning, but not like a heat spike to where I need to remove my hand, but there is just I can feel a little bit of heat. So I do want to call that out as well, but you know, I don't know, that could be because of my natural nails, but not anything bad because my hand's staying in the lamp. So I'm going to let that finish curing. Then we're going to do the builder gel. Okay, so I've got my base gel cured. And then for the builder gel, I'm not going to do any extensions or anything like that. It's just going to be an overlay on my natural nails. I picked the color Lilac Luxe. Is that blurry? Hopefully you can see that. So I haven't even opened this bottle, so I don't know what the consistency is like. So, ooh, it is, okay. It's a thick consistency, which I want for a builder gel. And this is interesting. Look at how short that brush is compared to like the base coat brush. Let's see if I can do this side by side without spilling anything. Look at that difference. That's interesting. I wonder if it makes it easier or harder to apply the builder gel. I kind of like that the brush is shorter, at least like initial thoughts, but we'll see as far as application if that makes it better, worse, doesn't matter. I wasn't expecting that though. So this is a beautiful color though. You can see it's a thicker consistency, so it's not, it's taking a while to form a bead to start running. So you can see a little bit of a bead forming. So it looks like this will be easier for application for beginners, give you more time to apply the builder gel. So let's test it out and see. So when I apply my builder gel, I like to start with a thin layer on my nail. So let me actually zoom in a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. Hopefully that helps. So I start with a thin layer on my nails. This is like my slip layer. So I'm going to leave it wet. I'm not going to cure it. And then it's going to help my bigger bead, once I've got this layer down, to move around more easily on my nail. So I think it always helps to have that thin slip layer before you go in. Just make sure you don't cure it. I can feel like I can get a little more precise application with the smaller brush, but I'm wondering if it's harder to get a bigger bead with that smaller brush as well. So that's the first layer. It's nice and sheer. I'm liking the coverage of it, the color of it, because I do want something sheer for my builder gel. So I'm just going in with a larger bead, and then I'm going to place that around the middle of my nail. You can see that bead right there. And then I'm going to float the brush, meaning it's not pressing against my natural nail. I'm just putting the brush on top of that builder gel, pushing it up towards my cuticle area and sidewall. I don't want to brush. I don't want to push hard. Just float on top of that bead. Don't let your brush touch your natural nail. Just float it on top. I mean, so far, pretty good. I've got a nice big bead. What I'm going to do, the other thing I like to do, which doesn't come in the kit, is I like to use a liner brush, because I don't like to use the brush that's in the bottle to get closer. Oh, I got a little bit of running. My bead was probably a little bit too big. So we will do a little bit of cleanup before we cure. So you can see it's starting to run right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try this. Is there any acetone? I think there's some acetone in there. Oh my gosh. All right. This builder gel is runny. It seemed nice and thick, but on, it's pretty runny. So you do have to move quicker. Work with a smaller bead. That would help as well with the running. My bead was a little bit too big. Some builder gels I can work with a bigger bead, but this one obviously not. That was a mistake. My bad, but this is the good, bad, and the ugly. The cleanup brush actually works well. Okay, I'm going to stop there before I do more damage. I'm going to flip my finger upside down to help with the apex, help it level a little bit more for about 10 seconds. So I can see there's like that little divot. It's not even. So I'm going to take my liner brush. I mean, I'm going to fix it with another layer, but see if I can move some of that gel just to make it a little bit more even. That's a little bit better. So I'm going to go ahead, cure this. Uh-oh. Did I come unplugged? Oh, there we go. Full cure, 60 seconds. Ow. Whew. Okay. Heat spike. Really bad heat spike. So keep that in mind as well. Whew. That was a big one. Take your hand out for a couple seconds for a heat spike, and then you can put it back in. Okay, heat spikes aren't completely abnormal, so don't worry about heat spikes. A lot of products have heat spikes. You can help it a little bit by going with thinner layers, and it's normal though. Don't panic. Just take your finger out of the lamp for a couple seconds, let it cool down, and then put it back in, and that should be the end of the heat spikes. So just want to say it's not an olive and June thing. A lot of gel polishes, builder gels, you get heat spikes. So doesn't mean something's wrong with it. So I'm going to go in, now I know, with a smaller bead. I think I want to build up a little bit more of an apex, and it looks like it's too thin at that free edge area. I want to protect that because my nails are a little bit longer. I filed them down though to make them a little bit shorter because they were getting too long, but I do want a little bit more of an apex to protect that length, because building an apex when your nails are longer is building that strength so you don't snap your nail. So I'm going to see if I can go within a little bit of a thinner layer because I got a lot of running on that first layer. So I do wish this builder gel was a little bit thicker. It's a beautiful color though. After that running episode, I want to be really careful on the amount I'm putting on. So I'm just trying to push it up. And then I can use my liner brush if I need to get a little bit closer. Okay. Turn that upside down. Let me see. Looks like I need to, and this is harder to do on my dominant hand. So it does help to have that liner brush for cleaner lines to get closer. Then I just want to make sure that it's level. I will do some filing and buffing just to make sure everything's nice and smooth, but of course, if you can start out with a clean application, that you have less filing and buffing to do. So as clean as I can get it. And then taking a look to see it's even. There, it looks like there's a little bit of a divot. Let me see if I can go in with a little bit of the builder gel. My thumbnail is very uneven, so I always have to work the most on making it even because I have a lot of divots naturally in my thumbnail, so it always takes a little bit more builder gel to even out that surface, which is one of the advantages of having builder gel. So I'm just concentrating it in the area where there's a divot, trying to help build out that apex a little bit, let it level. Sorry, I think that was blurry. Okay, I'm happy with that. You see that little bit of apex. So we're going to cure. Okay, lesson learned. Please don't do like I did and go in with a big bead assuming you're going to be good because it's nice and thick. It's never good to get gel on your hands. Even though I cleaned it up before I cured it, it's still not good to get gel on my skin. So don't do like I did. Lesson learned, smaller layers, smaller beads, just work it up in more layers. But here's how the thumb's looking. I'll do some filing and buffing just to even it out. But I really like that color. I think it's a beautiful color. I didn't expect such opaqueness from it, but we're going to go ahead, do my other fingers. So we're going to start working on the index finger, starting with that thin slip layer. And then I'm going to do small beads at a time and just do more layers because I did not expect it to run like it did on my thumb. And it's not hot in my room because temperature will affect viscosity of gels. So the hotter it is, the thinner it's going to be, the colder it is, the thicker it's going to be. It's not hot in my room, so it's definitely not a temperature issue. So I just know to use smaller beads and not assume you're going to be good. I shouldn't have done that. I know better than that. So don't be like me. So I've got that thin slip layer on, and now I'm going to go in with a smaller bead, but I do want some. All right, so we've got about that much. And then smaller bead, work a little bit quicker. Still floating though. Hopefully you can still see that bead. And I'm just going to take my liner brush, clean up, make sure I've got coverage around my cuticle area and sidewalls. And then I'm going to cure this for a full 60 seconds and then do a second layer to build it up. So flip it upside down, let it level for about 10 seconds, and then we'll cure it. A little bit of a heat spike, but not as bad as my thumb. But that, my thumb had a thicker bead of gel on it, so that's, that probably explains why the heat spike was so much more. So it definitely helps to have thinner layers of gel. It's not going to completely eliminate heat spikes if you're going to get a heat spike, but it does help. So keep that in mind as well. Okay. You know what though? I kind of like the sheerness of that one layer, but you can see it's not completely even because of the surface of my nails. So I'm actually thinking I'm going to file that when I file this, I'm going to file this down more to make it a little more sheer. So I'm actually just going to go in with a smaller bead because I don't need a lot of thickness, just want to protect my natural nails. So I'm just going to go in with a smaller bead just to even it out a little bit because I like the sheerness of it because it's like that little bit of blur, like that little bit of color. I like it, I think, better than, I mean, this is a really pretty color though, but let's see. We'll see where I end up. Ooh, well, that's not helpful. We will try again. So I've got a small bead. Even with this second small bead, the opacity builds up pretty quickly because I've already lost that sheerness. So if I wanted to keep it sheerer, I should have just made sure the application was a little smoother on the first layer because I'm not fully opaque yet, but I'm pretty close with this second bead. You see that? Okay. Just want to make sure I have builder gel coverage at my sidewalls. And then I need a little bit at the apex area. So this makes it harder to show you. But it's upside down, but a little sideways, so I can see where that apex is and then adjust it. More. So we're going to do one more finger together, but this one I'm just going to let you watch. I'll do these other two off camera, and then we'll do some filing and buffing, all that stuff. Okay, I had to switch to voiceover because my husband came home, but I did finish up the rest of my nails off camera. So here's how it's looking. The one thing I wanted to mention, if you're newer to Builder Gel, is all the Builder Gels cure with a tacky inhibition layer. So if it's sticky, it doesn't mean your gel is uncured. That's completely normal. And the great thing about it is if you don't need to file and buff, if you're going just straight on top with a gel polish or a gel top coat, you could just leave that inhibition layer and then paint your gel or top coat on top and you'd be all done. But because I do want to do some filing and buffing, I do need to remove that inhibition layer. So I'm using some isopropyl alcohol and a lint-free wipe, and I'm wiping down my nails really well to remove that inhibition layer, because if I don't, it would gunk up my nail file and it would just be all sticky and messy. So I want to make sure that I'm removing that really well. I wipe my gloves as well just because I touched that inhibition layer. So I want to make sure like all of that is removed. We're going to file one nail together just so you can see how quick and easy it is, and I'll do the rest off camera. And when I'm filing my nails, I like to start with cleaning up my shape first. My favorite to use for my shape is the Bonafide Beauty Glass Nail File. This is their coarse grit nail file. It is not meant for natural nails. It's too coarse, but it's really great for like builder gel because it's harder, or dip powder nails, acrylic nails. It's really great for that because it's that coarser grit. So I'm just cleaning up my shape a little bit. I'll do more shaping at the end after I file the surface, but I like to start with cleaning up my shape, going around my cuticle area and sidewalls, making sure that's clean. And then I'm going to file over the surface of my nails to start smoothing it out. This is really great for that. I love that it's reusable. I can just wash it and then it's good to go. So it never really loses its coarseness, which makes it really great to use. You just have to be careful about dropping it because it will shatter. I actually just dropped my nail file the other night in the bathroom. I was so disappointed, so I had to toss it. But luckily, I have a lot of these glass nail files. I'll leave links for these down below in the description. You can get them off of Amazon or you can go directly to their website. If you go to their website, you can use my affiliate code BFBGenie10 to save 10% off your orders. But you might want to wait because usually they do really great Black Friday sales. So you can pick them up for a really good discount as well. But I did just remember that the kit came with its own nail file, so I figured I should probably try that out to see how I like it. So I'm going to finish up filing the surface of my nails using the nail file in the kit. I mean, it works. I mean, Builder Gel, when you file it, it files like butter. It's really easy to file it. So, I mean, it works for its purpose. And I'm assuming just because it's a gel polish kit and not a Builder Gel kit, you do need a finer grit because it's probably to buff the shine off your natural nails and you don't want it too gritty. So that's completely fine. And it did work really well for the Builder Gel. I'll just say that it's not a super low grit, so it's not coarse at all, but it got the job done. So after I finished filing the surface of my nail, I'm going to take the buffer block that came in the kit and I'm going to smooth it all out. So not only do I like to buff the surface of my nail, I also like to buff my free edge just to make sure I don't have any sharp edges, and it helps kind of round out that almond shape as well. I finished filing and buffing the rest of my nails off camera, so here's how everything's looking. It was just a quick file and buff just to make sure everything was even and smoothed out. I wanted to make sure that my nails weren't too bulky, so I dusted off the excess dust, and now we're going to go in with the gel top coat. So I am going to be using the Olive and June gel top coat that came in this kit. I haven't used it before, but looking at the consistency of it, it's about a medium viscosity, so it's not super thin, it's not super thick. It's kind of just where I like it, and it also has that really great brush, the same brush that comes in the gel base coat. So I'm going to start off by capping my free edge first, and then once I've got the free edge of all my nails capped, I'm going to go in and do the surface of my nails. So I will say I'm going in with gel top coat because when I do peel base, I like to do it on top of a gel top coat. That makes the peel base work a lot easier and better to have like that smooth, slick surface. But if you're going in with your gel polish or dip powder, whatever you're doing on top of your Builder Gel overlay, and you're not using peel base, skip the gel top coat because it'll be too slick. It won't grip onto it, and you probably want it to stay if you're not using peel base. But because I am using peel base, that's why I'm going in with the gel top coat. So I'm applying a thin, even layer of that top coat to all my nails. I want to make sure that everything is smooth and even, that there aren't any like dust particles, anything like that. And then once I have the top coat on all my nails, I'm going to cure for a full 60 seconds. And as always, I'm going to finish off my mani by rehydrating my cuticles. I'm using my Scales of Mermaid Ultra Moisture Body Oil in the scent Belle Âme. And if you've been sleeping on the Ultra Moisture Body Oil, trust me when I say you need this. So I'm just doing like half a drop. Don't let the fact that it's an oil scare you. It doesn't leave you greasy at all. So I'm going to rub that into my skin and my cuticle area. This is my must have after a shower just because it hydrates my skin. It makes it plump and glowy. I'm not left with a greasy feeling at all. So this is real time. So you can see here, my skin's a little glowy. It looks a little plumper. I'm not greasy at all. I absolutely love it. So that pretty much wraps up today's video. I decided to skip doing the actual gel polish color just because this video is a little long. But if you would like a separate video on the gel polish color, let me know down below in the comments. And as far as the builder gel, I have really mixed feelings on this. So I didn't really like the viscosity of it just because even though it seemed like it was thicker, it kind of ran really quickly. So I had to work in smaller beads and a little bit quicker, which I didn't really enjoy. However, this color is absolutely gorgeous. I think this might be my favorite color. It's got like the perfect opacity to it. I love that it's not too sheer, it's not too opaque, because sometimes after you file and buff, it starts looking patchy. But even with the filing and buffing, it just looks even. I just think it's such a beautiful, elegant color. So honestly, even though I have to work in smaller beads and work faster, I probably would buy backups of this color just because I think it is so gorgeous. So just keep that in mind if you decide to use the builder gel. As far as the gel kit, I can't really speak to the quality of the gel polish just yet, but I think, if you're a beginner, this kit might be a good investment because it basically has everything you need in there. So it may be worth investing in if you want to just try out delving into the gel polish scene. So anyway, I hope this video is helpful and I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, I'd appreciate it if you gave this video a thumbs up. It lets me know to continue creating content like this, and it also helps YouTube recommend me to others, which helps grow my channel. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing. I upload content every Monday and Thursday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. As always, I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.